What's up, guys? We're going to do a quick video on painting a cowl induction hood for a 2006 C6 Corvette. So my neighbor across the street, he's a car guy like me. He bought this fiberglass hood. It came in kind of sealed in black, but the color we're going to be painting this thing is Velocity Yellow, which is a 3-stage base, transparent, and then clear coat. So I've already done the bottom side of this, but the first thing I'm going to do is hit it with some 400 grit, do a light wet sand on it, and then I'm going to come back with some spray glass cleaner and a red scruffy pad, and then hit it with some wax and grease remover, and then we're going to seal it in white, spray the base, spray the transparent. I got a piece off of the car. I got the actual fuel lid. Hold on one second, I'll go grab that. So I said fuel lid, I meant fuel door. So if you can see here in the sunshine, this is what Velocity Yellow looks like, and you can maybe kind of tell the sun is really bright shining on it, that you can kind of see the candy look to it. There's no metallic in it, which I thought was kind of odd. I thought it was just a base coat. So I got this piece off the car because when I start spraying the top coat, I'm going to come out with my LED light and I'll show you guys, and we're going to do a comparison to make sure that we have enough coats on it to get it to this nice bright yellow color. So let me get to wet sanding, and then I'll bring you back when I start to clean it. So a lot of times when you have a primer on one of these hoods like this, you could just hit it with like 320 on a DA, maybe even a little bit finer than that. I mean, I personally like to wet sand, especially since I'm not painting this till tomorrow morning. And one of the reasons I like wet sanding is because the paper doesn't seem to clog as much and it keeps all the dust down. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys is you see here how the water is laying nice and flat on the panel, but we're beading up here. It's beading on the primer that was on it from the factory. But one of the good ways you know you got a good sand, you know, is you just take some 400 grit or whatever. I could use 600 or something else for this, but I like 400. Seems to get it knocked down really fast because, you know, I'm kind of impatient, especially doing it by hand. So when I just hit it like that and I grab the water hose, you know, and I rinse it off, you can see how the water will just lay flat on there where it's not beading. You know, so that's a good indicator when you're sanding that you got it nice and smooth. Plus too, you can kind of see where you missed, because, you know, if you came over like on this side and you see the dry spots, that's some places I need to sand a little better. But I'm gonna wet sand this whole thing and then squeegee it off, and then hit it with a red scruffy pad. So let me finish sanding this. Alright, so I got her done. Probably, I don't know, I spent about 30 minutes top and bottom on this. I did find back here in that back corner back there was some tape adhesive stuck to it where they had it wrapped for shipping. So that's another reason I kind of like sanding these by hand, because you can feel imperfections pretty easy. You can run into things like I found tape and whatnot. So you can see here after I get done spraying it, she stays nice and wet looking. No dry spots popping up. So I'm going to use my little, I've had this turtle wax squeegee forever. You know, and I'm just going to run this dude down here, knock off the water, and then we're going to hit it with some, I'll show you what I got. I always like to use spray glass cleaner and then a red scrubby pad to go over it again. Mainly because these little red scrubby pads, they fit all the contours. Again, you can feel the whole piece with your hand. You're getting some cleaning action with the spray glass cleaner, and then I'll hit it with some wax and grease remover in the morning. Take a look at it, make sure the panel looks good, tack it off, put it in my inflatable paint booth and go to town on it. So I'll probably end this portion off, and then I'll see you guys in the morning when it's paint time. Alright, so here I am in the booth. The booths have some nice windows. I like to set it up in the yard so I can stake it down. I got a big shade tree right here. It's supposed to get really hot today, so I'm trying to get this done early. I like to put some box fans on this side over here. I just use a zip tie top and bottom to get airflow. This thing's designed so that up here in the top you can open up that zipper up there, and it's supposed to blow air in, which then would force air out here, but it doesn't do very well, especially when you're clear coating. Fogs this thing up really bad. So I'm drawing air in from that side over there. I got my hood in here. I'm getting ready to hit it with some wax and grease remover. I'm using this Duplicolor prep. Spray the whole panel down, wipe it with a microfiber, and then I'm going to flip it over. Do the bottom side first. I'm going to seal it, base it, and then let it dry pretty good. Flip it over, and then seal, base, top coat, and then clear the top. So let me get this thing cleaned up. Alright, so this is what I'm using for the job. I'm using some Nason Select Seal. It's a white sealer, which was recommended to use for this yellow because yellow does not cover very well. Then I got my Chromabase. There's the paint code there, Velocity Yellow 300N. And then here is my top coat. So I got a 1.5 pints of the base and then a pint of the top coat. This reduces 1:1, so I should have a little over a quart sprayable because I'm doing both sides of the hood. I'm gonna get these mixed up and then I'll show you my gun. Alright, so here's the two guns I'm going to be using. This is a Endozer. This guy here, you guys may have seen some videos on it. Endozer 2008. I'm going to use this one for the sealer and for the base coat. Then I'm going to switch over to this guy, which is a Aeropro. Let me grab it, the box here. It's a Aeropro A610. Read really good reviews on this. I've used this only for clear so far, but it's equivalent to the Black Widow Harbor Freight, but it's a lot cheaper. Like I picked this dude up open box on eBay, I think for like 66 bucks. And then I got this Endozer off of Amazon. I think it was like 35. I would not use the Endozer for clear. I did do that when I first got the gun, and no matter how I set it up, air pressure, flows, it doesn't have a very big fan, so it orange peels pretty easy. And then if you try to lay it down heavy enough, then then you get runs in it, and then nobody wants no runs in their paint. But this guy right here, this Aeropro A610 lays down really nice. Let me get this panel in my booth, get it cleaned up, then we'll shoot some paint. Over here in my dungeon corner, I'm going to show you real quick my compressor setup. I got a 30-gallon Craftsman, and I came out from underneath the regulator with a 1/2-inch poly hose, and then I come over here to my, I think it's a 15-gallon Harbor Freight connected down there below the regulator as well. So these two are daisy chained together. When I'm painting a big job, I'll actually run both compressor motors, but this one I'm just going to run that one. So what my thought process is one is I got extra volume of air, but as I'm collecting moisture in the Craftsman tank, not all of that's going to transfer over to my smaller Harbor Freight one. And then coming off the front side of my Harbor Freight, I got a moisture collector right there, and then I run one of those little whirlwinds on the bottom of my gun to keep my air free of moisture. Maybe a little hard to hear, I got a respirator on, but here's my gun set up. 35 PSI spray. I've already laid the first coat. I really don't have a good way to hold my camera and spray this. When I get on the other side and get ready to lay my second coat, I'll kind of show you how this thing lays down, or I might wait till I get to the other side since I've already started. But right now it's still a little wet. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, hit it with a second coat, and then we'll lay the base down. Alright, so I got my sealer 30 PSI. Let's see how she lays down. Alright, getting ready to spray the base. It's going to get a little challenging now because it's starting to get just a little breeze out. But I don't want to get any dirt on this panel, even though I'm in a paint booth. It gets dusty up in the top corners and whatnot. And then I spray the floor down and get it wet, because you'll kick dust up and it'll get on your project. So I just tacked this, blew a little air on it, and now I'm getting ready to lay down this the base coat. Alright, so I'm hitting this with a LED lights. This is 2 coats of the top coat, and it's looking pretty much spot on. It doesn't have clear coat on it yet. You're probably seeing the wavelengths from the light. I didn't film the mid coat part because it's pretty critical to get it even, and I didn't want to mess it up while I was trying to film it. So I think at this point we're good to clear coat. This is the clear I'll be spraying, finish 1. Heard good reviews on it, so I'm gonna give it a whirl. So here is the finished product. Very hard to tell in the sunshine how flat that clear laid, but she did a really laid down really nice and flat. Yeah, there's just a little bit of dirt here and there, but you know, that's expected when you're doing a at-home job in a paint booth like this. It's just hard to keep all the dirt off of everything. Here's the fuel lid that came off the car, so it looks like we got probably, I would say, a pretty solid match. We're gonna let this thing cure up and get it on the car. Hopefully my guy's happy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the next one.